Hi, my name is William. I'm from the Asia Odyssey Travel. Good job, good job. Molly.
William, I'm Beck, obviously.
Becca.
And Esther.
Esther, nice to meet you. High five. Yes. This is the Beijing Capital Airport Terminal 3.
Yes.
This was been built for the Beijing 2008 Olympic. So I have two airports. One is on the other side of the city named Daxing Airport. This is the capital airport, and this terminal is Terminal 3. It's the biggest terminal. By the way, it's about a 1 hour drive back to the hotel. Do you need a restroom?
Do you need a toilet? No.
You're good?
Toilet, we've got an hour drive. You're hungry, you're always hungry.
Okay, you're hungry. There's a convenience shop. Does he want to grab something?
Do you want to just get something quickly to eat?
Yeah, but just over there. Follow me, please. So, I will see you the day after tomorrow. Okay, have a good rest. Bye-bye. Bye. So we're going to visit a couple places in Beijing. The number one is the Great Wall of China. Yes. You made it. Good job. Good job. Hello, everybody. We made it. The Great Wall of China, and the Great Wall was being built 221 BC, and the emperor unified whole China. He linked the separated Great Wall together to be the one wall. So the Great Wall at that time is about 5,000 kilometers long. From East Ocean, go that way to the ocean. Go that way to the Gobi Desert. So 5,000 kilometers long is quite like from London to Dubai. The Great Wall was being built originally to stop the horses to get in. 2,000 years ago, the Great Wall is 5 meters high. It's made by earth and rock and bricks. And it's just in case the horse to get in. Because the nomadic people, they cross the border, they rob our village and to get our properties, and they ran away. So when we send the soldier to back up, we found they already disappeared. So we built the wall on the border. The horses cannot get in. People climb over, doesn't matter. They cannot go very long and very fast. So this section of the Great Wall are the latest Great Wall. It was being built in the Ming Dynasty. This section, why is so famous? Because here have Mao Watch Towers. And Emperor, because it protect the capital city, so added Mao Watch Towers here. If we find 100 enemies is approaching, one smoke from the fire like a water from the tower. If we find it 500 enemies come, 2 smokes. 1,000 enemies come, 3 smokes. And if we see the enemies from that section, launch the fire. At nighttime, fireworks, smokes. The smokes mixed with the animal's poop, wolf's poop. So we call it wolf smoke. And they say the burn the wolf's poop, the smokes goes very high and far. People from the village from far away can easily see it. I didn't try it. I don't know it's true or not. But if you find a wolf's poop next time, borrow the wolf poop and burn it and show the smoke how that goes. So the Great Wall was been built for defensive function. And actually, Chinese people also try to get further. But when we go further, not good for farming, for agriculture. So it's not good for farming and good for agriculture. So we just stopped and built a wall here. So this wall was just quite like a 400 millimeter raining line. Above this line, farming is not good. And inside of this line is enough raining for farming. So like a Beijing city, every year is average about 500 millimeter raining. Yeah, so the Great Wall, this section was made the best quality. The other section is made by the earth, rocks. Yep. And here on the foundation is made by the rock, and on the top is made by the bricks. Yes. So each section have the one shooting hole. When we find the enemies is coming, we just hide our body under the shooting hole. And maybe the enemies will cross the wall to get to the village robbery, but when they coming on the way back, we defensive as them as well on this side and to shoot the enemy down. Yes, this is a heavenly temple. Emperor come here, pray for the good rain and good harvest. This temple was being built 600 years ago. The Emperor Zhu, he's the first emperor, built this temple and live here in the Ming Dynasty. His father Zhu Yuanzhang, the first emperor, created a new dynasty, but his father passed away, didn't choose him, but gave Beijing to him. So he is the king of the Beijing. And his name is Judy, just like English name Judy, girl's name Judy. So Judy became to be the king of the Beijing. And how many brothers and sisters does he have, 40. His father Zhu Yuanzhang have 40 children.
40 children?
Yes, 24 boys.
24 wives?
24 sons and 16 daughters. So the son was titled by kings. They all were China. His number 4 son, Judy, was in Beijing. Beijing is a very important city because Beijing is a gateway. The people, nomadic people who want to get into China, they should go through Beijing because in all the 2 mountain range, there is a mountain valley. Yeah. And go through the mountain valley is easy pass. So built the Great Wall in Beijing. And if they cross the Beijing, they get into China, there's no mountains, it's a flight. So Beijing is a very important city, and Zhu Yuanzhang think, my 4th son, Judy, is a very good man. He can make it. Yeah. And when he died, he chose his grandson. And his grandson don't like his uncle Judy. So uncle and nephew fight. Finally, uncle win, nephew lose. Uncle became to be the new emperor. But he don't like the original capital, Nanjing city. He wants to Beijing. He stayed in Beijing since when he was young. He loved Beijing. So built the Forbidden City, built the temple. So 600 years ago, the temple was being built for the emperor to worship from the heaven for good luck and good harvest. Oxes is the ox. It's a stone ox for the sacrifice because in a long time, nobody allowed to eat the cow. The cow meat is because it's for farming, agriculture. So only for the sacrifice during the prayer time, we use a cow. But we use a real cow in the kitchen. The roasted, it should be tasted good. Yeah. So the roasted animal, the cow, lamb, and the pig were put on the table. And after the sacrifice, we put into the sacrifice means the worship. Like use the animal and to appreciate the God bless us. It's a kind of the sacrifice. Yeah. Use the animal, but in the kitchen over there, where we come in, the kitchen and the roast, and put the oven roast it and put it here. And the pre-ceremony was used in this building.
Why are there nets around the jade emeralds?
Just in case the birds to put a nest here.
Yeah, and I reckon.
Yeah, this temple was built here 600 years and has been restored a couple of times because this is an altar. It's the highest building in Beijing. And have the timbers support. The wood and the top is a clay. So this wooden in the center have 4 pillars represent 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Second layer have 12 animals, 12 pillars symbolize 12 months. The outside have 12 timbers symbolize 12 hours.
Oh, okay. So 40. Someone's in there.
There's a staff.
Oh, that's, making sure no one. That's fine.
Ask the staff to take a photo.
I can send you the clear photo. It's a symbolize 12 months.
Yes.
The third circle is 12 hours. Where you counted the 12 hours in one day.
Yeah.
So today's 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock is 1 hour back then. Oh. So we use 12 hours to count the whole day, instead of the 24. So this is the wooden architecture, the whole building made by wood. No nails to make them together. Just use wood lock to each other. One layer lock to each other. Like in the center is timbers support the whole building. The original altar is 3 different roofs, 3 different colors. Yellows represent emperor, blue represent heaven, green represent ordinary people. But Emperor Qianlong, he don't like the color was different. He said the heaven was blue, the roof color should be changed blue. So the order what we see, the last time was changing is from the Qianlong's time. It's about 260, 270 years ago.
And now what's the green?
Then it's all blue. Before it's blue yellow and green, 3 different colors in the 3 different rooms. Forbidden City. Why name Forbidden? Emperor says, in my home, not allowing ordinary people to come in. So every day about 40 to 50,000 people come to visit this palace. During the national holiday, it goes to 80,000 people. So today it's not bad. It just takes us 15 minutes to get in. Here have 3 entrances. These 3 entrances for different people. This is for the emperor, empress, for the high-ranked officers, for the empress. So today we go through the middle, like the emperor and empress. Let's go. Come here, let me show you a secret. Look, on the top of this board, there is a head of the arrow just there. Do you see?
Someone's lodged in.
Yes.
And they had a fight.
What happened? Before we get into the palace, I mentioned there's a killer want to try to kill the emperor. The eunuchs opened the door. They broke in from the western door, but the security guard stopped them. So they fight each other, and the arrow shoot all over the place. There's one shoot very high, and the emperor passing by, and he said, "Don't take it down. Just remind me to be the good emperor."
See the thing inside it? On this side, sticking through?
Yeah.
That's an arrow. See?
This is the head of the arrow. Left 213 years.
Wow.
They tried to kill the emperor, but they didn't. The emperor is not at home. The emperor was delayed. It's come across the rain, so he go home 2 days later. But his son was organized the security guard to stop the killers to get in. So they fight each other here. This arrow was left here more than 200 years. But other tourists, they probably don't realize here the arrow there. Okay, let's go to the emperor's bedroom. There's a water tank here to put out fire tank.
Yes.
Because most of the part is made by wood, so just in case of fire.
Yes.
And we can see more things. We can get into the room to see more treasures. Because in the palace, is a lot of the room. Is so many tourists. Is closed. You only can see from very far away, a long distance. But most of them, you can see nothing. But I know there's some secret place. This secret only William and another million people know in China. So this secret place, we can see treasures of the emperor. We can like the pottery, porcelain, gold, silver, clock, furnitures, and we can get closer to see the emperor's living room and bedroom, because this palace was been built 600 years ago. It's made by wood. And for the safety reason, a lot of room was closed, not allowed to put lights on. But there's some secret place. I know, I'll take you in. The first, we just go that corner. There's somewhere we can sit down, take a short break. And a nearby toilet. And next stop, we'll see some furnitures, beautiful furnitures. Next, we see some porcelain and potteries. Okay, let's go. And we move back to the main building. And we're going to see the big building, the main like the courtyard. Okay, let's go. So this square named the Hall of the Supreme Harmony for the grand celebration. So the movie Last Emperor was really filmed here. There's a 3-year-old baby emperor. He's the last emperor. He stayed there, come out, and his father was come with him, and his father, and he sees so many people come. They all kneeling on the ground, knock on the ground, say, "Long life of the emperor." And the little emperor was so scared. He cried. His father say, "Don't cry. It's finished. It's finished." And his father means the ceremony finished. But everybody attending saying, "Oh, his father say the dynasty finished." Yeah, it's not good luck to say the finish. During the ceremony, 3 years later, it's Qing dynasty finished. So the little emperor was 6 years old. He still stayed in the inner palace. The outer part of the palace here, what we see, is it belonged to the president. And so he stayed here until 1924. The soldiers, generals come here, kick him out. So this palace opened to the public as a museum in 1925. So last year is 100 years anniversary of the palace.
Oh, wow.
Because it's open 100 years as a museum. And this palace, 600 years old, 500 years for 2 dynasties, Ming and Qing, and 100 years for the people as a museum. Until now, it's still open as a museum. But there's so many treasures. We're going to put into the new museum. We'll build a new museum on the other side of the city. It will be open soon. So in there we can see more like a jade, the calligraphies, paintings. But here we just see the buildings, architectures, and to heard about the stories from the different emperor, different dynasty. But there's a secret. You can see that on the roof there's so many big or small animals. They are dragon, phoenix, lion, heavenly horse, ocean horse. The more on the roof, the more important the building is. So this building only have 5. Another building have 7. The biggest building should have a 9. But the 9 emperor saying it's not enough. This building have a 10.
10.
Because this is the building is the highest building in Beijing. It's always a lightning shoot building. And people think if we put the lightning god on the side of roof, there will be helps, right? So this building have 10 animals because this is the biggest, highest building in old China.
Oh, wow.
They are dragon, phoenix, lion, heavenly horse, ocean horse, 夏玉孙尼谢智斗牛. The last one is Hangshi, the lightning god.
Yeah. Look at those.
Those are the
Wow.
last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 on that one.
So this whole palace, the marbles from Beijing, the timbers from Hunan, Hubei province, and the roof is a clay, was made in the factory. The bricks was made in Suzhou, Hangzhou, and Shandong province.
And that's all marble.
Yes, it's all marbles. This is the reading table.
Why are you waiting for food?
No, read the book.
Like a desk, your desk.
Yeah, your desk.
Just read and writing, but here have so many poems. It's a carving emperor, right? Like this emperor Cheng like a poem.
Wow.
And look at the lanterns. Do you know what's the material of lanterns? Back to 300 years ago, we didn't make a plastic.
I wonder what the house would look like with all of this in it.
Yeah.
They would look amazing, wouldn't
Yeah.
they? Very.
There's a lot of houses that have the design. Yeah, we're
Similar?
passing by. Yes,
Yeah.
we'll see. This is the horn of the animal.
Is this a bed?
Oh, really?
Yeah. The ox. The ox horn and put into the water cooked, and when it's getting soft, they have a mold. Put it bigger, and cook again. Put a second bigger mold, make it bigger.
Really?
Yeah. Probably they use a 10, but they broken 9. They have one left.
Is this?
There's a lanterns because it's a palace was made by wood. If it's a paper lanterns, it's a
Catch
full
fire?
fire. So they use this.
That's ox horn. That
Is this
lantern
a
is made of
bed?
ox horn.
This is a bed.
Where? BAT bat?
Is that a bed?
No, it's a sofa bed. You can just sit down and just lining too.
See here? You can read them.
So you put a mattress there and then it
can
can
have a
be
sleep.
a bed.
Yeah, you can sleeping.
That's what I was meaning, right?
Yeah.
But it's
Like
not a
bed.
bed like you've got in your bedroom.
Yeah, not a really like the
Can it
bed.
be like a lounge room, like
Chair.
chair?
Sure. Yes.
You could put a mattress on it and sit
Yes.
down and watch TV.
It's about 2 meters, almost 2 meters long, so it could be a good bed.
Bed.
Yeah.
That's about as wide as your bed.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Your bed's only that wide.
Look here. This is the wedding gift from the Empress family. So this furniture was made in Ming Dynasty, but they wedding in the Qing Dynasty. So this is older, but the original furniture have no designs. When they married each other, they put a lot of the designs on that. It's used elephant tooth, shell, jade, jewelries. So on the bottom have so many kids. They are playing together.
Yeah.
They wish this new couple have more children, as more as possible. So this girl is the Empress and the Emperor Qianlong. So this is Emperor Qianlong. When he was 17 years old, he married this girl, and she was 16 years old. They always love each other, have the greatest love, romantic love. But sadly, this lady was died at the age of 35, 36. And so Emperor lost her favorite wife. And so he cried, and he just asked the people to lock everything was this his wife used before. And whenever he meets his wife, he would just go there and check and just stay there, have a memory. You know, in Chinese restaurant, we always use the lazy Susan tables,
Yes.
right? This is a lazy Susan table. You can twist on the bottom. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed like you go to food places and they have the Lazy Susan.
Yes. This is for what? This is for checking, you know, the paintings.
Oh, yeah?
And you put your painting on one side,
Yeah.
and you can twist it. You can see the around side. Yeah. So Emperor's favorite number is 9. And from here we can see. Here have a beautiful decoration in front of the door of the living room, bedroom of the Emperor. And we can see this is round shape of the jade. The jade frame have 4 dragons in the front. 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, 4 dragons on the back. Totally 8 dragons. Why they don't put 9 dragons? Because the Emperor think himself is also the dragon. So from the whole, look at that side. The Emperor who sit there is number 9 dragon. So 8 plus 9 is like a number 9. 8 plus 1 is 9. Yeah. In front of us have a hair of bronze line. One is male, one is a female. Do you know which one is female, which one is male? That is what? That is male. Why? That's the one. Though they look exactly same, but only one part is different. Look at their feet. With their feet, one hold a ball, one play with a baby. So the one hold the ball is the male line. The one with play the baby is a female line.
That's what I said.
Yeah, let's get closer. We can take a look. Come with me. So this is the female line.
It's a different floor looking.
And at the Emperor's position, when the Emperor sit there, on the left side of the Emperor is male. On the right side of the Emperor's hand is a female. So it's all, whenever you go, it's always the same layout. And but my wife told me the female line is on the right because the female is always right.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
We can see this is named the Hall of the Mental Cultivation. It is the Emperor's daily office, living room, and the bedroom. Secret is in front, on the top of the roof, have a hidden dragon. The dragon come out from the sky. In the dragon's mouth have a round ball. We call it Xuanyuan ball. It's a mirror. And we believe the emperor, the real emperor who goes through underneath, is okay. If the fake emperor go along the middle line, the dragon will open the mouth. The ball will fall over to kill the fake emperor. So it's believed that the one who sit there should be the real emperor. So this is the emperor's daily office. Look at the design, decoration, and chair. So the bat symbolizes the happiness. Peach symbolizes a long life. So our birthday cake, we say the 寿糕 means like the peach cake. It symbolizes have a good life. So our senior people, when they have a birthday, we all bought a peach shape of the cake for our grandmother, grandfather. Symbolize a good luck and long life.
Yeah.
Okay, just before we move, history class.
History class. This is a map.
600 years ago, there is one emperor. He said, I wanted to build a new palace. This emperor named Zhu. And he is the 3rd emperor of the Ming Dynasty. He just take the power from his nephew. And he win. So uncle and the nephew. His nephew is the 2nd emperor. So this emperor named Zhu, he talked to his designer, Kuai Xiang. He said, I want a brand new and the best palace in the world. And Kuai Xiang designed it. And he said, how many people you need? The designer said, probably I need 1 million people. And he said, okay, that's not a problem. So 1 million people, include 10,000 artisans, come here to build the new palace. So it's very quick, only takes 14 years to build. And this is the palace. Yeah, this is where we are. This is the palace. So from this map, we can see this is the entrance where we're queuing, named the South Gate, Meridian Gate. This is the North Gate. We'll later go all the way from south to north. This is all the different rooms. Size of the palace, 250 acres or 72 hectares. With how many rooms? Each building have about, say, 20, 30, 40 rooms. Altogether, the palace have 9,999 rooms. Yeah, he told the designer, he said, yesterday I dreamed I go to the paradise. I meet the God on the paradise. And God tell me his palace have 10,000 rooms. So please remember, don't over than 10,000 rooms to respect the God. So the designer say, okay, what about 9,999 rooms? Suppose you was born in here. You stay in a different room every night. When you finish all, 27 years. Oh, so
Was this the first person?
the first person is the emperor in the Ming Dynasty.
Was that him?
His name is Zhu Yuanzhang. That's him. Yes. Yes. So the Zhu Yuanzhang is the first emperor in the Ming Dynasty.
What place is this? So all of them have died.
Yes, those are all the emperors in the Ming and Qing Dynasty. There are 24 emperors live here. 14 emperors from Ming, 10 emperors from Qing Dynasty live here. So the first emperor lived here and built here is not him and him. His name, I think, he is the only emperor have an English name, Zhu Di. Yesterday I mentioned the Temple of Heaven was built in the Zhu Di time. The first emperor, Zhu Yuanzhang, when he was a little boy like your age, do you know what he do? He need to help the family to feed the cows, like the cowboy. So he's the cowboy when he was a little child. He really dreamed he can have a private land, but they don't. He have a very bad childhood. 1 year in their village. It's because of flood destroyed the farmland. Grasshopper eat everything, so they lost everything. His parents, brother, they died. So his father bought a license when he was a little child. It's to be a monk. So he go to the temple, become to be a monk. But monk, the temple was so busy, so it's a pack, and they kicked them out. So he became to be a beggar. He joined the army soon, fight against the ruler. It's Mongolia. So that happened about almost 700 years ago. So he's the first emperor fight back, and he win. He created a new dynasty. That is the Ming Dynasty. M-I-N-G Ming Dynasty. So when he died, he didn't choose his children because he have 40 children. And yeah,
that will be 13, and then 13, and then 00.
Yeah.
That will be the time when.
This is the first emperor, Zhu Yuanzhang. The second emperor is his grandson. And his grandson don't like uncles. Uncle don't like nephews. So uncle and nephew fight. Finally, uncle win, nephew lose. So nephew disappeared. So he sent the captain Zheng He traveling all the way around the world to find out the nephew, but he didn't find him. He don't like the original capital left from his father and his nephew. It's nearby Shanghai, the city named Nanjing. He don't like there. So he said, I want to win by Beijing. Because when he was a teenager, his father gave Beijing to him. So he titled the king of the Beijing. So he's named the Yan Wang Zhu Di. And the king of the Beijing, his job is to protect the Beijing, protect the China. So when the Zhu Di became to be the new emperor, and he built a new palace, 14 years finished this palace. So it means this palace where we are, the Forbidden City, was being built about 72 years before Columbus discovered America. Around 144 years before William Shakespeare was born in England. Not a William, not this William, not me. So this palace is used for two dynasties, Ming Dynasty and Qing Dynasty. So 14 emperors from Ming, 10 emperors from Qing Dynasty. Some of them are really good emperors, and some of them are not very good. For example, there is one emperor, he worked every day. Every year, he only gave himself 1 day off. And there's one emperor, he have 26 years, doesn't work, just to have a party in the palace. Yes. So he never come out of the palace, he just stay here. Yeah. So there's a lot of interesting stories left in the palace. Let's go inside, take a look. Here have a hidden dragon inside. Let's go and check. Let's take a photo together. Come here. Come, let's stay each side. Get closer. Bend your knees, like here. Yes. Let's check. Yeah. One more. This is the emperor's classroom and another building, and he studied English here. His teacher named Johnston from Scotland. Yeah. So the last emperor speak English with a Scottish accent.
Oh, yes.
So this garden have more trees, flowers, and rocks. The more rocks means more money because the people who ship the rock to their garden spend a lot of money to hire a lot of people. So if your garden have more rock, you are very rich people. Yeah, so this rock is, especially the imperial rock, is not from the nearby mountain, from the lake. This lake is nearby Shanghai. So it's 1,000 kilometers away to here. So in Beijing, anybody's house have this rock named Taihu Rock, means more wealthy. This rock should taken from the mountain, put into the lake for 50 years. 50 years later, take it out, have a man in natural holes, and they designed, the world designed it, and take it out and ship to Beijing. And the emperor don't pay for them, give them tax refund. So people call this rock tax-free rock.
Tax-free rock.
Dang, 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 dang.
The map like a treasure map.
This is a Beijing city.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so your hotel, do you know which is about the hotel?
Right.
Yeah.
Where's the center?
Yeah,
This is a Tiananmen Square Forbidden City.
Over around there.
Yes, you are right. It is the Chongwenmen. There's two gates. Your hotel is named the Chongwenmen. And the exact location is just right here. And it's a temple heaven where we are yesterday. We used to have the city wall. We have inner wall and outer wall to protect our city. 600 years ago in Beijing, we only have this inner wall. And Zhu Di, I mentioned the emperor, and he is the first emperor built the Forbidden City and lived here. But before him, here is the palace of the Mongolia, Yuan Dynasty. So right under the Forbidden City, we found there's the palace, another palace, because it's burning down and buried underneath. When the staff dig the ground, repair the breaks, we found, there's a one layer deep. Take this layer out, we have, it's another layers, 15 layers underneath of this palace. Wow. That is the rocks, breaks, clays from the premier dynasty, Yuan Dynasty. Been knocked down, buried underneath. Based on the Yuan Dynasty, built a new palace, Forbidden City, and for the Ming Dynasty Emperor. Qing Dynasty, they didn't ruin, they didn't destroy it. They said we can still use it, so they use it, and they stay here. So Ming Dynasty, the palace was being built in the center, and the people live around, and built a wall in the middle of the Ming Dynasty.
So they built a wall so no one could enter.
Right, here have a one wall, it's to protect the city. This is a wall to protect the imperial families.
But I thought, so that's the wall of the city, like the whole city.
Yes.
Where's the, Kim Jong-un's house thing?
Who?
The
Chairman?
Yeah.
Here is, just now we drive along this road, we get off the car from here, and on the opposite, right, this is a president house. So our chairman, he live here. So if you want to get in, you should get in from this door. You say cross the wall, but you need to swim across the lake and
so
to
there's
get.
crocodiles in there.
Yes, and here they live. So yesterday we're here at the Temple Heaven. So your hotel is not far to the Imperial Temple. Emperor was go there to stay in here 3 days in the fasting palace. And in the Qing Dynasty, it's changed. The Qing Emperor said, this city is only for our Manchurian people. I live here. My relatives live all around here. Han people, Mongolia, other people, they should live outside of the city. So the outer city and the inner city. Today in Beijing here is all the neighborhoods. So later when we leave from here, our sexy Mao was waiting us here. So he will take us to this area and we'll get off the car to take a rickshaw. The rickshaw driver take us around the old town, the neighborhoods. The houses here are 600 years old. Some of 700 years old district, older than Forbidden City.
Is that where we're going?
That is where we're going. So we leave from here. We don't need to walk all the way back. We walk to here. And we get to this here. Then we go into Mao and take us around here. We come out from the palace. So this morning we use about almost 2.5 hours to read about 600 years old palace. And this is named the Palace Museum. When the palace will be open 1925, this is as one of the entrance to get into the Palace Museum. So they have 5 characters Palace Museum. This is the North Gate. Today, all the travelers who come to visit Palace should come out from this gate.
Okay.
So this is a Jingshan Park for the good feng shui. Have a mountain in the back, river in the front. Live between the mountain and the river is a very good place. So this is man-made hill. Where does the work? We dig the moat, dig the lake, put the earth on the back, make a hill, and in the front we man-made a river. So it's good for feng shui. Is in the Forbidden City.
Where are we going now?
Now we're going to the Hutong, the rickshaw tour. It's old section Beijing. It's here where we are, around the lakeside. There's many old houses, neighborhoods. It's a 700 years old district.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been built before Forbidden City. And it used to be one family living in one courtyard. And now it's shared with many different families.
What did you say in the car when you said that what we're doing now?
We're going to do it now is the rickshaw tour. Take us 20 minutes around the old town. And then we're going to eat something just around here.
In one of those?
Yes. And then we're going to eat something here. Then we're going to take you a walk around the Hutong, the neighborhood, all the way to the center of the city, Drum Tower and Bell Tower. And we're going to catch up the mall there. Then we're going to the Olympic District by car.
Can I sit next to you? Can I sit next to you?
Sure.
And then we can beat Mum and Molly.
Yes. We have the rickshaw tour first. Okay, let's go on a rickshaw this way. 哪两辆？这个。Okay, you want to get on the first one? You want to share with me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Are you on the second one?
Yes, please. Okay, get on one. Take a photo for you. All of you. Okay, let's go.
回来了吗？
回这儿。Oh, nice.
坐一下啊！不要地下快车了啊！让一让嘞，坐一下啊！让一让啊，让一让，让一让，对啊！让一让嘞！
我最近都带着小团，3个2个的。
What do those boats do?
I mean, it's like electric power boat. For sightseeing, just like hang around, see the old section Beijing. Traffic jam. This is the neighborhood. About 300,000 people live here. Let's turn around, turn right. This is the lakeside named Shichahai. Or Shichahai. This is a very famous lake in Beijing. A lot of bars open here. When we take the Rickshaw ride, we see there's so many restaurants and the bars open here.
Yeah.
And this is named the Lotus Market Street.
Okay.
You can see the lotus flower, and this street used to be the antique street because have a lotus flower on the side, so it's named the Lotus Street.
Yeah.
So it's a market street, and there's a couple restaurants there, and we can eat there. Look backward. This is the lakeside. This is a Shichahai, the drum tower, because in the old time the people they don't have a clock. They don't know what time they should go to work. Their time is finished. So this drum tower tell the people, okay, today is finished. They beat the drum in the evening, and in the morning they run the bell, and it means wake up call.
Oh, really?
So this is the end of the city central axis, 7.8 kilometers long, and 2 years ago. This is the new World Cultural Heritage Site in Beijing.
Okay, so
It's
they don't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's crossed from the Tiananmen Square and from Qianmen and all the way to here. So it's across the city center line.
Yeah.
They do have the drum performance every 1 hour.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
they do have it still.
Yeah, they do have it. This is where we had the ride by the rickshaw on the other side of the district. This is the eastern district. That is nearby the lake is the western district.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, this area is have more houses, and the local people who live here, if they own the house with let's say 200 or 300 square meters, they can sell it with 20, 30 million, like US Australian dollars. Yeah, very expensive. But if most of the people who live here, they don't own it. It's a government provide.
Okay, yes,
They live here for free. When I was a child, I grew up in the Hutong neighborhood.
Let's look at them. They're kicking up.
Yeah, this is named the Jianzi, like a hockey sock, right?
Yeah.
Let's go and take a look. We call it the Jianzi. We play it when we in our PE class. You see, we play it when in our PE class. We have a match on that.
Oh, they actually play a game.
Like there's a nest, like a
Oh,
badminton.
net.
Yes,
But with your feet.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Let me take a photo for you here. Very good. 1, 2, 3. 姐让他试一下呗，他想试。Okay, you want to try? You just throw it and kick it. Yeah, almost like this.
Yeah, see?
Try it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
See?
Try it. Oh, good kick. Good kick. Let's go inside this way. Let's go inside. They are really like friendly. This is the Summer Palace, Emperor Summer Resort, and they come here from April to October. It was been built in 1750. So the Emperor Qianlong, he built it. Have two reasons. First, he liked the city nearby Shanghai named Hangzhou and Suzhou. He really want to go there every year, but it spent a lot of money. And officers say, Emperor, you cannot go there every year because every time you go with your family, your wife, your children, service, bodyguard. It's a bunch of people and they spend a lot of money. And the Emperor Qianlong said, but I really like Hangzhou. I want to build the similar view in Beijing. So they found in the suburb of the Beijing, nearby the mountain, and here is a beautiful scenery. And the Emperor wanted to build this resort. But the officer said, dear Emperor, you already have a very beautiful and a big summer resort just close by here. And why you need a new one? The Emperor said, I want to build this not for me, for my mom. This is for my mom, that's for me. And I can come here with my mom. So this, in the year 1750, it was been built for the mother. And it was, for the resort. So it's named the Summer Palace because Emperor normally stay here in the summertime from April to October. But they stay here a couple months until at the end of the Qing Dynasty, they stay here longer. And especially the lady, she is the Emperor's mother. Her name is Deutsche concubine Cixi. So her son, 6 years old, became to be the new emperor. She is the behind boss. So she really loved this resort. Even here has been destroyed a couple times, once by British and French. And he spent a lot of money to restore. And the money she borrowed from the Chinese Navy. And this side have a most of tourists because here have see some buildings where they work, where they live. And later we're going to take you to the quieter place because there's going to have see the beautiful sceneries. Everything here is man-made. This site is about 4 times bigger than the Forbidden City. Yeah.
Wow,
The Forbidden
4
City
times bigger
is
than
72 hectares. Here is more than 290 hectares. And but
Walk that whole thing.
no, we walk around the river and around the lake because inside I have the lake. Lake is about 65% of the area.
Wow.
Let's go and take a look. It's the lady, Emperor's mother, Cixi, she got here. But it's a so hot day like yesterday. And she feels very sick. And people who take the water from this water well and take it out. She drinking the water, she
fully recovered in a minute. He said, "Whoa, this water is so good. I never know this. We have such a good water well in my garden." So he named this water well the Long Life Water Well. Even the British and French and got here, and the other times the enemy got here, she ran away. She still want to take a couple boxes of water from this water tank, from this water well, and go with her. So this is the living room. This is the office and the meeting room. We can see the dragon and the phoenix in front. Dragon represents the emperor, phoenix represents the empress, because she is the lady in charge. So she put the phoenix in the center and dragon behind. From here we can see. Here, the dragon on the side, phoenix in the center. Yeah. And this is the place where they meet the officers, have the grand celebration meeting, and the mother was just here. And the son, little boy, sitting in the front, and the behind is the mom. Between them, there's a silk curtain, and she is the real boss. So this is there's an animal over there, the qilin, auspicious animal. The horn like a deer, face like a tiger, tail like a lion, and feet like the ox. So it's a mixed up animal. Yeah, and it's named qilin, symbolizes good luck. All right, so we'll walk to the lakeside. This is the Buddhism pagoda over there. Where does the water come from? From the pagoda underneath. We'll go all the way to the end and to the other corner. So this mountain over there.
What's that
This
big
is
thing?
the pagoda, and the pagoda have a spring water.
What's that thing up there next near the mountain?
It's a pagoda. It's a Buddhism function pagoda.
Yeah, the one which is pointing up.
Yes. They take the boat, they day trip. You know, the boat cross where we just visit, the zoo. So the emperor, empress probably visit the zoo, and another half an hour drive to the temple. Have a lunch break there, and then afternoon get on the boat again to here.
Come here.
Yeah, take a relax one day. And from the Forbidden City, there's a man-made canal. It's connected all the way to there. Yeah, so
Why has it got like a big arch?
that's a very good question. When the emperor, empress, they got here, there's a big lantern was raised up. So means, okay, everybody should be careful. The big bananas, the boss is here. Yeah, they see there's a plane that just take off.
Yeah, look, it's a plane.
This airport was not open to the public. It's like a military airport. And you hear the lake, the water from the mountain, pagoda spring water. It's not very deep. How deep it is? Once you see some people boat, I see the girl would take a selfie falling into the water. She said, "Help, help!" And her friend said, "Stand up." When she stand up, she found the water just right here, 1 meter deep average, and the deepness in the center 1.5 meters deep. Here is about 50 centimeters deep. Yeah.
I can
Because
swim that
you
whole
can
thing.
swim, yeah, because it's a man-made lake. It's not very deep. Behind the island and the bridge, there's another lake. Behind the trees, another 2 lakes. So the whole, totally the lake size is about 65% of the whole area. And this is where they live. This is where they're going to visit. The pagoda, pray, and the opera house go all the way around here. So when they, most of the time, they just stay around here, and sometimes they take the boat tour around the whole palace. There is a bridge named 17 Arch Bridge. Have a 17 arches there.
Oh, okay, yes.
And the middle arch is 9. So 9 is a lucky number, so they designed with 17 holes.
Travel ease with Asia Odyssey Travel.